it looks like Indonesia is going to have a little bit more luck in fighting a war against Australia than I initially thought. Because the siege of Perth has begun, and I think I underestimated the Indonesian Air Force. Remember, in the last video, we saw a bunch of Australian units, ships to be exact, meet a bunch of Indonesian ships, and that was the last we saw. And I'm really, really sure that these great war bombers did, I think, really made up for and gave the Indonesians a very clear advantage. Japan and Canada piecing out with India, so they pretty much destroyed the entire Australian fleet. Jeez, I can't even talk. And just north of the Papua New Guinea territory, and now they're going after Perth. Now, will they have success against Perth? I don't know. I don't believe these units have range. Great war bombers, their range really suck. But if they can take Perth, then it's pretty safe to say that Canberra, something like that, is done. Because there's just too many coastal tiles next to this city. Although maybe not, because there's even more Australian reinforcements that they could bring up. So this is going to be interesting. Not only this part of the world, as well as Latin America. South America is now kind of broken out, where the Colombians are even further invested in a Salvadorian war, I guess Brazilian war, I guess I should say. For some reason, I think part of the reason was when Argentina declared war, they were able to use more of the tiles south of Salvador, which makes this a little bit easier. The problem is that here comes Argentina with rocket artillery, which means that these units can move and fire at the same time 3 tiles away. Very strong attacks. So Quinto, I don't think is going to exist for much longer. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. Colombia still has a lot of units, although they're behind in technology. These crossbowmen and especially the riflemen, or actually no, vice versa. Especially the crossbowmen are going to get absolutely demolished by Argentina Great War Infantry, as well as their paratroopers, things like that. I want to see if the Inca are going to, I don't know, maybe get involved at all, perhaps. Maybe they will. They're sending over a lot of, the Inca are really interested, I think, in colonization. But in terms of the Pacific, there's really not that much left. Okay, this is going for Australia. And if they can get there fast enough, that's going to really help out Indonesia. There's a few more tiles out here. So that tile is open. This tile is open. Tasmania did get settled. There's actually a few islands that you could technically grab. A lot, actually. Oh my gosh. So I guess that is what the AI might be going for. Of course, there's still like all of Siberia, which the Chinook are continuing to press forward to grab. Mogul's taking a little bit longer of a time. We've got Persia heading up north this way as well. So the last frontier is finally being settled in 1952. Yeah, I think Rome is just passing through this territory. And actually, they're fighting Byzantium still. They're still fighting Byzantium. Oh, I didn't even realize Rome is really rebuilt. They've got units now over south of Byzantium. They should have done that a while ago, though, if they were able to attack Byzantium north and south. But even just attacking Constantinople from the south, much better plan than attacking from the north. Much better. And then, obviously, if the Black Sea is empty of ships, empty of these range ships, that's going to make things a lot better for them as well. Nothing has really occurred between the Danish and Swedish war. Sweden tried. They tried, but yeah, nothing happened. Oh my gosh, didn't realize how many submarines Novgorod had. Maybe Novgorod would have some luck as well if they were to attack Sweden. I mean, they'd obviously be able to control the Baltic Sea, which is a pretty good strategic sea, I guess, in this location. I mean, you have access to attacking Denmark and Norway and Sweden. And even Poland. And Poland has like nothing in terms of a fleet, so someone could easily jump into Hamburg. I mean, I think that's the weakest point for Poland, is if someone were to consolidate in the Baltic Sea, then they're kind of screwed. I don't see them really stopping a naval attack there. Tibet and the Champa have peaced out. Anything else? No, nothing else. How's Korea doing in their war against the Vietnamese? Okay, so they're slowly grinding away at the Viet Cong. And even the Champa are bringing in more units. Siam is still not really taking a direction on what they want to do with Southeast Asia. I don't think they want to attack Persia. That'd probably be a bad idea. Siam isn't Siam at war with Australia? Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe they want a piece of Australia for themselves. Can't believe Kimberley's still alive, even. Kimberley at 15 population, very, very low technology. Only a handful of units left. All right, so what is Indonesia going to do? Now, luckily for Australia, this landmass is going to make it very difficult to attack Perth, especially with these ships. Battleships is going to change everything, though, and we are approaching battleships. We've seen the first few battleships from, I think, the Ashanti were the first that I've seen, but that is never the case. Usually people find those units much faster than I do. Okay, so the British are going to be the first ones to attack St. John, one of the last two Canadian cities. And they're bringing over 2 ironclads and 2 ship of the lines, maybe a privateer and a redcoat as well. And maybe they'll bring even more. Who knows? The Iroquois also at war. They did declare on Canada in the last video, or I'm sorry, over the break. But they don't have. Oh, they do have borders now with the Sioux. No, actually, no, not yet. I'm sorry, I get confused by those borders. Technically, they don't, but they can move around. And that's what they're going to, I think that's what they plan to do. They're going to move around Regina and attack Quebec from the north down. I guess anything they can do. Also, the Sioux did build the Manhattan Project. So it's only a matter of time before they have nuclear bombs. And they can really just completely destroy North America if they wanted to. How's Argentina doing? Yeah, so for some reason, Colombia's attacking Salvador. And they are not protecting Quinto at all. I think that's Quinto. I think that's how you'd pronounce that. I'm sure that these units are doing, 3 bombers pretty much, 2 great, and 1 just regular bomber. It's weird that great war bombers are weaker than just bombers, because you have the word great in there. I didn't realize they had all these units down this way too. They need to use that. Oh, and Korea. So I think we can confirm that the Sioux are clearly number 1 in technology, Korea number 2. And that's actually what I pretty much said. I knew that Korea was up there, but I knew that they were very close. I didn't know that they were number 2, but I knew that they were very high in the list. So I think that kind of confirms it. I think AIs will always build the Manhattan Project if they can. Even if they don't have access to uranium. In the very beginning, they'll always try to build that. So yeah, it's safe to say the Sioux and Korea 1 and 2 at the moment. And Korea not too far behind. Now we need to see who's third. How's Russia doing? And what the heck is Russia even doing, first of all? So they still have Great War infantry. Oh, no, they've got infantry as well. So I could see Russia in third. Or somebody from... Oh my gosh, big naval battle going on here in the Eastern Mediterranean. Or, obviously, actually, you know what? The Ashanti are probably third. These battleships are pretty far down the tech tree. Maybe Africa just brings out the top 5. Maybe it's the Sioux, Korea, and then, the Ashanti, the Congo, and then Ethiopia, top 5. Maybe. I could see that. And then maybe Russia is somewhere around 6th. Russia seems okay, although Argentina has rocket artillery. Okay, so we've got Novgorod and Ethiopia working together against Kimberley. Does Ethiopia have a chance of taking this city? Ethiopia doesn't really have any units. That's the only thing. But yeah, I figured Kimberley would be destroyed at some point. How's Indonesia doing? Yeah, so this siege has begun, and there's even a little distraction going on here to the south so that Australia can't reinforce too easily. Problem is there's a lot of melee units here. They need more ranged. Luckily for them, these Australian diggers are melee units. They're not ranged, so you're only going to get bombarded by the city Perth itself. Indonesia also, I think, are going to be able to bring reinforcements if they wanted to. They need to utilize this carrier a bit more. Maybe they are, because, yeah, maybe they are going to start to send carrier units with air planes attached to them, docked to them. Is Argentina going to attack more Persia? I mean, they are kind of, but they're not going to have much luck with 1 Great War infantry, but I give them some credit for trying. Love the Chinook are here in Hawaii. The Chinook should survive since they are in Hawaii. And boom, colonization continuing. And actually, the Chinook are actually the ones that are, I think, one of the bigger colonizers, the biggest colonizers. Is Mongolia still going? No, not so much. Persia's still looking for a spot. Russia has access to their Cossack. Maybe Russia will attack Byzantium. I want to see Russia do something. Russia's been so quiet. They attacked Tibet. They're at peace with Tibet. I want to mention that. They do have railroads, which means that they can bring their units back very quickly towards the Eastern Front, just in case they need to. And the Swedish-Danish conflict has pretty much slowed down. I don't think we're going to see any more results there. Unless, of course, Norway declares war on Denmark. That will be a big mistake for them. Denmark's just a hard city to take. Yeah, you're not really going to be able to take Denmark. How's Washington doing? Is Washington more defended now? Not really, no. And they're not even really going to go after Canada. They're going to let Queen Victoria, I think, be the sole sieger. Is that it? Seizure? Ooh, Japan. Japan and Australia. I like that war. World War II, maybe. A little bit of a World War II scenario. Oh, but Japan is dealing with some barbarians. That's too bad. Japan can fight, just as strong as everybody else. Even though they're behind technology with riflemen, they can fight just as strong with everybody in the sea. But that's a pretty far journey for an AI to take with, well, not so much with a naval force, but the Japanese aren't that strong. That's the thing. Still, that's kind of cool that we have Japan and Indonesia going after Australia. Lots of privateers here in the Pacific for Australia. Australia goes first, so we'll see how they do. Obviously, a reinforcement with this frigate would be nice. They need to find... If they grab a hold of Perth, then I think we could see them... Well, that would be a big victory, obviously. But, yeah, like I said, I think this city would fall. I don't know. I think Japan needs to probably bring in some reinforcements as well. Kimberley is going to try to attack these Ethiopian colonies. Siam, I think, is going for Australia, if I remember correctly. Dang, but this city's so reinforced. Lots of artillery weapons. Yeah, lots and lots of artillery weapons. Let's see what they do. Oh, I guess Indonesia processes first. That's right, because they're a vanilla civ. They're not modded. Oh, what are you doing? You don't do that. Oh, maybe this won't go as well as they initially planned. If they're starting to attack this city already before taking Perth, that's not good. If they, like I said, if they take Perth and then they just take all their air units over towards Perth, they're going to do some work. Because Australia's got nothing in terms of anti-air. Yeah, nothing. Here goes Persia. Oh, Persia's starting to bring some more air units this way. Great war bombers, which I think is what kept them safe from Ethiopia, since Ethiopia had nothing in terms of air units. I think that's what kept them safe. Here go the Ashanti. Man, the Ashanti might be launching a huge attack eventually. A massive attack on Canada. Great Britain next turn will probably begin to engage St. John, which I don't think they're going to take it over, but the Ashanti might have a very easy time swooping in, taking the city from them, and then going after Quebec. It's all kind of a race. Especially a race because I'm sure the peace deal between the Sioux and the Canadians will be up very soon. Very soon. Lots of Washington settlers. Sioux settlers as well. Man, I want to see if the Inca and the Sioux will ever go to war. Oh my gosh, so there's actually going to be a big race for Australia because the Inca are at war with Australia, the Siamese are at war with Australia, and then obviously we've got the Indonesians coming after them. The Japanese might bring more ships over. This might not be good. I mean, Australia's building. I give them credit for that. They're building a lot. Ooh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. I don't know what these kind of possibilities could lead to. Maybe an Incan-controlled Australia or Siam, or just the collapse of Australia as a whole. I think it's safe to say Kimberley will, I think, eventually drop, right? Ethiopia should be sending over some ships. Yeah, here they come. And that's probably enough, too, to take care of them. If they send them over fast enough, though. Congo looking for some one-tile cities. And it looks like the Romans have finally almost completely destroyed the the Byzantine fleet. It's only a few ships still left. Byzantium only with 2 cities left here, but they do have that city located on Ireland. I don't know for how much longer. I figured Queen Victoria would eventually attack there and eliminate them. Oh my gosh, and of course this window popped up. I don't even care. Well, let me check who has the least amount of happiness. Wow, Australia's at -12. Maybe that's why everyone's going to war with them. Genghis Khan at -4. That's why he's not continuing to expand. Chinook continuing to expand, but they don't care. They're unhappy, but they continue to expand. Washington's unhappy. Okay, this is somewhat relevant. The Sioux and the Congo really running out of happiness as well. Weird thing is Russia still has excess happiness, but they're not settling. So is Darius. I mean, yeah, these don't really matter. Korea, that's big. Korea continue to expand, and so is Ethiopia. That's big too. And Indonesia. Wonder why Byzantium must have a wonder. I think they do. I think they wondered horde. I think they wondered horde in the earlier part of this campaign, and Constantinople is probably a very valuable city. So if Rome takes it, they'd be in a much better spot. Although Rome still can't colonize. There's nothing for Rome to colonize. They just need to invade at the moment now. All right, and the Siege of Hanoi, I think, will begin this turn. Infantry units are in place. Well, they're not in place, but artillery units are in place. And more will be coming. They can also utilize this road here. There's been a road system already built from Mumbai to this newly captured city. Interesting to see. Oh, and boom. Yeah, so they did settle. So the Mongols will go after... I think they might be going after a mountain here. I think a pretty smart choice. Maybe grabbing themselves an observatory for extra science, because I don't think they have anything else. Most civs don't have the luxury of settling next to a mountain. Okay, and yeah, so Ethiopia sending over some troops to attack Kimberley. How is this front looking? Not too well. Not too well, but here come the Inca. Here come the Inca. There's a few skirmishes going on out in the Pacific between Japan and Australia. Oh, okay, let's see what they do. Let's see what the Koreans do. Oh, they're just going to move closer towards Hanoi. Vietnam is down to actually 2 cities now that I think about it. I didn't realize that since they lost this colony to the Ashanti. Okay, that's weird that the Korean AI is getting so close to Hanoi, though. That's not the best decision. But either way, we'll see. Let's see what the Indonesians do. Ooh, they kind of retreated from Perth. I think they might be more focused on destroying units for now. Either way, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to stop right there, though, guys. We'll see if Australia ends up surviving or what. It's going to be fun. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.